Hey, thanks for joining me. So I took the dogs out for a walk today and found this little pavilion where there's some shade, so I thought it'd be a good place to stop and make a video. So, been thinking a lot lately about, should I get another format camera? I go through this about every year. Like, I keep thinking, do I want something, full frame? Do I want this or do I want that? And ultimately I decide, you know what? The Micro Four Thirds stuff I have, I really like it. And it really works for me, and so I'm just going to keep going. But I want to talk about where I think Micro Four Thirds really excels. Those places that Micro Four Thirds has advantages over other formats. I mean, it's real easy to look at the negatives, the full frame can do this, full frame can do that, whatever. But there's some things that Micro Four Thirds is better at. And I think it's important to explore those things. I've always believed that you need the right tool for the right job, and there's probably times where a full frame or maybe even a medium format camera is the better option. But in a lot of cases, the Micro Four Thirds has some really significant advantages. So the first one that's just really obvious is size and weight. I mean, and that kind of moves into a number of things. That benefit of size and weight, which everyone kind of is familiar with, especially when it comes to lenses, is really important when it comes to things like wildlife or landscape or travel photography. If you're having to pack a bunch of your gear in a pack and you're doing landscape photography and you're hiking a significant distance, the less weight you can carry, the better. The less space the camera gear takes up, the better. And if you're able to have, like say for wildlife photography, you're able to have longer lenses that again aren't so huge, it's just a benefit. A 300 millimeter lens on a Micro Four Thirds is equal to a 600 millimeter lens on a full frame, and it's just a lot smaller and it weighs less. And so that's, I think, an important advantage. And when it comes to travel, having a camera, like one of the pen cameras that, maybe with a pancake lens on it, maybe like this little 14 millimeter that's so tiny that you can put in a coat pocket or you can have slung over your shoulder, and it's just not weighing a lot. It's not in your way, and you can use it to take pictures and enjoy doing that. I think that's important. I mean, lugging a big camera around while you're traveling is just no fun. So having something that's compact and capable and can produce, professional quality results, I think is a real benefit. And again, there's times if you're a professional photographer and you're traveling on professional assignments and you need image quality that's going to be good enough to put on, say, I don't know, billboards or really large, prints or whatever, then maybe you do need, a larger format. But for the vast majority of us, especially people like me I'm not a professional anymore. I don't go out and shoot professionally. I shoot for my own enjoyment. I make some prints. They're not that big, that I can display in my home. And Micro Four Thirds is perfect for that. It's a perfect fit for that work. So the size and weight are certainly an advantage. Lens choices. One of the good things about the Micro Four Thirds format is you've got two major manufacturers, Olympus and Panasonic, Lumix, making lenses for these cameras. And so you've got two premium lines of lenses. You've got a pretty good array of third-party lenses, just a lot of lens choices out there. And you add vintage lenses onto that, and really it's probably got the best range of lenses available. And those lenses, the new ones even, are typically a little less expensive than the larger format lenses. Pieces of glass are smaller, there's less size to them, less material to make them. They're just by nature a little bit less expensive. So affordability, especially these days, is a big thing. Another area where I really feel like Micro Four Thirds excels is in those areas where you want lots of depth of field. Micro Four Thirds format's going to have more depth of field by nature because of the shorter focal length than other formats. Where's that important? Well, if I'm a landscape photographer, I want all the depth of field I can get. If I'm a travel photographer, I'm probably going to want lots of depth of field. If I'm a macro photographer, I'm shooting macro, I absolutely want all the depth of field I can get. And I'm not sure, but I think one of the newer Olympus bodies with the 60 millimeter Olympus f2.8 macro lens is probably one of the most popular combinations for high quality macro there is. You also have that 2x crop factor that maybe everyone complains about in other uses. it makes the image on your sensor, well, it's not any bigger. The lens projects the same size it projects, but because the sensor is smaller, in the final image, the subject's bigger. So the magnification effect is that you get a 2x boost on your magnification. So that's, it makes a great macro combination. And yes, you could crop down a full frame image smaller and get more or less the same effect. But again, you add the weight, the size, the affordability, the depth of field, and the amazing macro optics that are available for Micro Four Thirds, and it's a hard combination to beat. And the other thing that this format I think really excels with are third-party manual focus lenses. So there's a whole range of third-party lenses made by, I don't know, there's all kinds of companies, TT Artisan, 7 Artisan, Mikey, I don't know, ad nauseum, they go on and on. But all these lenses that work with Micro Four Thirds are typically designed for APS-C sensors. So why is that a benefit for Micro Four Thirds? Well, because we're using with Micro Four Thirds a smaller central portion of the image than you would use on an APS-C camera. So if you look at an MTF chart on a typical lens, you'll see at the edges where the quality starts to drop off. But when you move the edge in further, because we're not projecting as big an image or using as much of the image circle, the parts of the image that are degraded as they get close to the edge are kind of cropped out. And so Micro Four Thirds by nature makes the best use of the lens. It uses the central part of the lens where the quality is the best. That also applies to vintage lenses where we're using, again, a very central part of the much bigger image circle. So we're using that part of the image which has the best quality. And so I have found that with a lot of these lenses, and you've seen I've reviewed several of the TT Artisan lenses. They seem to be my favorite brand of those. I've been able to get really good results where some of the APS shooters complained about the quality at the edges. I don't have those complaints because those parts of the image are not being used. So there's a real advantage there. The other thing that Micro Four Thirds has an advantage of, and this is something I've just started experimenting with, are doing panoramas with a shift adapter. When you're using a vintage lens like this 20mm Nikkor, and you can shift this thing sidewards, 10 millimeters in either direction, the image circle on this vintage lens is made to cover full frame, so it's got plenty of, you can move it. With an APS-C sensor, you couldn't move it as much, or you'd run into the edge of the image circle. And if you try to use an APS-C lens on one of these adapters, again, like if I put a Nikon D-series lens on one of these, I'm gonna run closer to the edge of the image circle. The really cool thing is with vintage 35mm lenses on the shift adapter, I can make shift panoramas, and they look great. And with the EM5 Mark II, I can shoot them in high-res mode, and I can stitch them together, and they look pretty amazing. So I'm having some fun with that. I've always been a real big fan of those kind of panorama images, and love watching Nick Carver's videos about his work on 6x17. I'm probably just not gonna go buy a 6x17 camera. That's very expensive. And then the film and scanning. And I love shooting film, you know that if you watch my channel, but I don't know, that's an investment a little bit bigger than I'm, I guess, willing to make. But being able to do it digitally, to me, is really cool. I can, the image quality is good enough for my purposes. Again, I'm not making huge prints. And using the high-res mode on the EM5 Mark II, I've got plenty of pixels to make really as big a print as anyone would really want to make for most purposes. So anyway, those shift panoramas are kind of a cool thing. Like I say, I've always kind of been fascinated by panorama images, and being able to do that now and start thinking about how I can shoot some of the things I've shot before in new places as panoramas. I don't know, to me it's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to exploring that more. You're probably gonna see quite a bit more on that on my channel. Anyway, that's my thinking on the Micro Four Thirds system. there's probably other advantages I haven't thought of. If you have some more to add, please, put them in a comment. I'd love to hear about that. This is just my experience with my Micro Four Thirds equipment. I've found it affordable. The camera's really, fun to use, easy to use. The quality of the image has been exceptional, and I've just been having a blast with them. So anyway, that's where I think Micro Four Thirds really excels. And again, if you have any thoughts or questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. And as always, thanks for watching.